because the coaching will always feel that you might use this against me. And I think there's something for the leader to think about. How are you going to create that kind of safe container so that your team members open up and share? And then I think we had a long conversation about KPIs and how to measure the effectiveness of coaching. So there was a lot of stories here about, whether you look at business gaps and measure your effectiveness when you do your coaching, so you can measure that. But we also talked about if you are coaching a person, it's not about a business gap, it's about the person and, for example, a leadership skill or something. So I shared something that, I would always do a 360 before and a 360 after, because leadership is about perception of stakeholders on you. So you need to know what your stakeholders think of you before and after. But I think it feels like there's a lot more conversation on how we should actually measure ROI. And it's not monetary only, yeah? So that seems to be a big conversation. Betul tak? Okay. Okay, what else did I have here? Yeah, business ad, Oh, okay, there was a conversation like the coaches here said, we are always asked to coach so-and-so, the executive or the team member. But sometimes, the leader themselves is the one that needs the coaching. Because if you don't have it, the ecosystem is not complete and it's not going to be effective for the department. Betul? Okay, I think enough lah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think you're right. Coaching requires a holistic approach. So let's move on to the second group. Who wants to volunteer? Okay, we have one at the front and also one at the back.
Hi, my name is Jerome, representing Group Table 16. Whoa! Woo! We have plenty of great insights. We found our session here extremely rewarding. I would like to thank the people who facilitated this, the people who were up in front, as well as the participants for beautiful questions. The insights range across the board, from AI as a tool, but also recognizing AI cannot detect emotions, to the fact that AI could mean something differently. Thank you. AI could mean appreciation and inquiry as well. And one of the insights was we can't move away from being judgmental. So the council of exercising judgment versus not being judgmental was extremely useful. Thank you, YK. But we finally gyrated on ROI. And I think ROI is something that is etched in almost everyone's mind, because that's where the rubber meets the road when it comes to business. And the fact that, thank you, Jean-François, that leadership development actually influences engagement, and then engagement before you can get inspiration, and inspiration before you can get results, means there's quite a long journey, we feel, from leadership development and coaching to the actual results. We were extremely heartened that Tata, TD, and Intel were able to demonstrate those numbers, and we need to work harder at consolidating all those little contributions into a final ROI number that our stakeholders and decision makers will feel is sexy enough so that coaching will actually thrive in this environment. That's from us.
Table number 2.
Hello, I'm Asni again, and from Table 2. Basically, most has been said, but one thing that I want to highlight from our table is actually the most important of either you being a coach or coachee is actually your support system. Yeah, we shared a lot in terms of having a community, having a lot of things, and today I learned that ICF has its own structured way of doing things, which is you are going to have coaching people, but at the same time you are going to have to be a supervisor coach, right? So which is very good. That is one of the things that you know that you are always there in terms of making sure that you have that competency. Because being a computer person is all about, you have to make sure you have the knowledge, you have enough experience, demonstrated skill, right? So those are the things. Like this support system is the thing that we sit here in the table to be there, and it is good to know we have ICF, we have internal within the organization itself. We have even as early in Petronas especially, as early as you enter into the company, you will be introduced with coaching. That's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, table number 2. I think once you found your tribe, coaching just happens so naturally. Do we have time for one more? Any questions? Any table wants to? Oh, we have one here. Table number 1.
Okay, tapi ada.
Okay, from table number 1, since we have the master coach here, look at the tips. Number tackling the challenges as a coach. They are related to coachability index. We have high coachable and we are also non-coachable. But actually non-coachable, we have to be a mirror. A tips from Mr. White here, we say that. Be a mirror and do some reflection and talk to the coach. Don't stop directly. That's the tip. Okay, what we can do differently. I think we have to promote the value of coaching to everyone. The one who experience it will benefit, but for those who are not there, they won't know. How does coaching will impact?
Thank you so much, Juan. I very much agree with that. Since we're getting a lot of good feedback, can we have a couple more feedback from you guys? Just a raise of hands to whoever wants to share. Okay, we have one at the back. Awesome.
Hi, we are from group 11, alright. So the takeaway from us is basically the different roles as a leader who coach, internal coach and external coach really matters, alright. So coaching works, but we need to be agile according to the different organizations, and the challenges in this coaching, basically what we actually discuss is, do our leaders actually believe in this coaching, and can coaching actually improve in terms of performance? So this needs to be taught actively in our organization. So this is one of the key items that we think. And how does actually it can bring values is basically all of the coaches here, we need to be an ambassador. So that can actually promote coaching to every levels in our organizations. That's it.
I agree. Being an ambassador is the first step forward. Okay, let's do one more table. A show of hands. Okay, we have one over here. Oh, there's one over there as well. Okay, we'll go to that one and then.
I'm going to stand. It's kind of difficult because we were searching for who's the speaker all the time. Okay. For the first question, what new insight and learning did you gain? So collective, I'm going to put in some points and also as both. There are some who actually learned that the skills that they have is actually a coaching technique, which they didn't realize it, and it is also creating changes and growth. And then we are looking at how coaching skills can be incorporated into daily interaction, as well as our leadership practices. And then there were also conversations saying that asking a good and meaningful questions empowers people, and then it also encourages mindset shift, which is a crucial thing within coaching. And then we also learned about the power of pause, especially during the simulation session that we had, where we pause, we observe, and we allow the thoughtful response to take place. And there was also high engaged employees contribute. Means this creates a high engagement
between employees that could lead to higher productivity. And there was one theory, Hawthorne theory, is it? Yeah, Hawthorne effect. So you can Google it out later. So that actually proved that right questions or conversation can actually lead to productivity. You don't need to impose any process changes there. Simple questions, and coaching is not limited to age or capabilities. Even a kid can be coached in the appropriate way. And then as well as we learned that it actually leads to a tangible or measurable results in the organization, as well as for it should be brought to a wider out of the organization as well, meaning to say to the community around us.
Thank you very much. I agree. I think coaching has no age. I think we have one last table, right? Yeah, over there.
Thank you very much. My name is Rosia from Group 38. On top of all good things that we hear throughout this entire session, we also discussing about the traditional one-to-one coaching versus one-to-many. It's a small group coaching. So facilitating skill is also important for the coaches to learn, because we are not targeting only helping individuals, but also to help a company to meet the targets. So let's have more skills on top of coaching, but also to facilitating. Powerful one. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for the thoughtful and generous sharing. Today reminds us that coaching isn't about fixing people or having all the answers. It's about creating space